that angle. Do you think Wumi and any other person in that house, when the nurse left, do you think they are proper suspects to question?
Yeah, the people who tried to offer assistance when he was conversing, their statements is one thing that will determine if they had a further injection on him or if they're giving him any substance or any substances. We cannot go by speculation. We have to have a reasonable ground to hold those people that were there when the nurse went out to get something. You get? So if we do not have any valid or any hints, like an hint ahead of what we might suspect, because example is that if they had done an autopsy and they found out there was a different injection from what the nurse gave and all of that, blah blah blah, or there was a suspected poisoning or anything or stabbing and all of that, that would have been a different case. But right now, there's no hint that can point that after the nurse left, there was something that was inflicted on him again. You get? So I'm not trying to say it's not possible. They can go that route, but the chances of establishing that thing is very, very
What about
slim.
what about the water testimony? The water
testimony.
Yeah.
But I think it was the first time he started conversing, not when the nurse left. When the nurse left, I didn't know what action they did at that time. Even me, I've not had whatever action. I think they only said they brought him down to put him in the car or something. I can literally say this was the particular action that was done. You get? To me, I'm not saying they didn't do anything. They did, but what can we categorically point out that they did? Do we have any hints from anyone?
If the water testimony can be established.
But the nurse was there when they poured the water on him. That was, you don't get what I'm saying?
It's still the same thing. They will have done something behind the nurse also. I'm
not saying.
Yeah,
now you're getting it. We only assume it until when we have an hint of what happened, and then we can then point it to one direction. We cannot categorically say. You get? It's only speculation.
Dabs.
Yeah.
Emma talks about contradictory statements from all these people, and which is one of the reasons you and I is here to talk about this matter.
Yeah.
Because if we have a true testimony coming from all of them in that house, the fact that they say Mohbad didn't want to go to the hospital, we knew they were lying against Mohbad. Now, let me drive this boat from the injury at the show to the house. The case is simple. A man is injured. They saw him bleeding from a far distance at a show in the middle of the night. The first thing that comes to everybody's mind is to take him to the hospital or get a first aid drugs to stop the bleeding. Yeah. This is a common sense. For someone who is bleeding, a driver was there driving them home, and they come to tell us that he said he didn't want to go to the hospital. That's kind of strange.
Okay. Can I put an addition to that part? Can I put an addition to that? No, okay, no. I don't want you to stress so that
Go ahead.
Can we be as honest as possible? The driver of the Prado Jeep was also there. And then I could remember from what the Prado driver witnessed and all of that, I'm sure he had given his testimony to the police as well.
To the police?
I think, but
to the police?
I think his name was something.
No, if you are going by
his name, but no. I'm saying, was there at any time? Even the Prado driver said he suggested that Mohbad should go to an hospital, and then
we have not heard from him. We heard from the police.
It's a preliminary report. It was mentioned.
That's what I'm saying. That is from
but
the police.
I wouldn't say the police were lying. But
I'm coming.
Yeah.
If we are going to join the police, didn't lie, right? Where the police talked about the profuse bleeding, what was it coming from?
No, Rotimi, please now, because if we start that one today, we cannot finish it. That one.
I just want us to know something.
That one too big.
If you are going to believe everything from the report, I'm coming.
I never said I don't believe. I never said
Just wait. I'm not rendering the
Okay.
report useless, right?
Okay.
I am saying we have not heard from the driver directly. Now that the main reason why I don't want to believe most of the thing coming from that report, because the nurse one, they say they call experts who analyze the nurse injection, but yet when the autopsy came out, nothing related to that nurse fluid found in Mohbad's
No, no,
body.
no. There is. It was it was referred to as a compound name. There is always one thing we
Referred to
have to
as what?
remember.
As what?
Compound name. Compound name.
Okay,
Compound name is
okay,
like
great.
a name that clarifies.
Okay,
It's
no, I
just like a
understand.
paracetamol. You get.
I get
So
it.
they will
Now
not say
let's
paracetamol
move
in
further.
the.
Let's
Okay.
move. I just branch. Now let's go further.
Okay.
By now, we expected to have spoken with the driver the same way all the Primeboy, all the spending, everybody is come out to talk.
Okay.
On a
I would like to add to
straightforward
that.
case. Yeah.
I would like to add
Now
to that.
because the driver,
I said something at the beginning. Hold on.
I'm coming, bro. The driver
Okay.
is not a suspect, but a witness. So a witness can speak anytime. You can speak to the public. You cannot restrict a witness not to speak to the public. The same
Okay.
way.
I would like to. Can you not make it long so that I would not forget my line of
Yeah.
thought? Please, just
No,
make
don't
it
worry.
brief.
You can jot them down. You'll be yes. So don't go with. Yeah.
Okay.
I allow you, Yayeme, to be talking now. Right? I was writing.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
now, if you look at from the show, the bleeding from the show, right? Common sense will say this guy's supposed to be taken to the hospital. They drove him home from the show. Doesn't mean that the bleeding was not much, but if I'm going by what police said, he was injured and he bled profusely. Doesn't mean the police don't know the right word, the right, is it adverb or adjective now to have used to qualify that bleeding? Doesn't mean the police, this is their first time of handling such a case. Doesn't mean the police don't know what they are talking about when they say he was bleeding profusely or he bled profusely. Now, he injured, they could remember they made mention of he got injured from the show. That means they got those information from the eyewitness, probably Wumi, probably Spending, probably the driver, and they said he added to the report. He said he doesn't want to go to the hospital. It was added to that report, and that was coming from the people in the house, probably Wumi and co. If police could believe he doesn't want to go to the hospital, definitely the profuse bleeding was not just imported from anywhere. I want to believe that profuse bleeding was coming in from the same witness who said he doesn't want to go to the hospital. Are you there, Dabs?
Yeah.
Now, because for police,
me
Dabs,
personally,
you are
right?
educated. You are educated.
You cannot say I'm educated now. You cannot.
Okay, you are not educated. You be speaking. So you are thinking logically. You are not educated. You are thinking logically. To this extent. Yeah. Don't be far from the truth, bro. You've been on the truth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll be as honest as possible. But
be honest.
Me personally, right? Me personally, the adjective might not quantify the quantity or might not determine the perspective of which you have interpreted the bleeding profusely in your own perspective. But
now,
in the
what
person,
I'm saying,
but hold on. I have to in the perspective of the person who gave that report, they've decided to choose that word because it quantifies what they've been able to figure out. Because we were not there to but hold on. Me personally, right?
I love you.
Hold on. Let me
go ahead.
Me personally, right? I believe there was a bleeding profusely. I'm saying me. You know why?
No.
In the sense that someone might bleed not too much, but the blood might just continue to life. They said, and the bleeding continues. You get so it's very okay to think there was a continuous bleeding. Maybe it wasn't that as much as we could interpret that bleeding profusely, but was there bleeding? Yes. Was the bleeding how do I put it? Consistent, or it was a continuous bleeding, you get. So we cannot just say there was no bleeding or it wasn't much. We have to use our own perspective to measure it. But another way that
if someone is judged, if someone is judged, definitely it's not water or diesel that will come out. It's blood.
Yeah.
So definitely, and if they are claiming that he injured at the show, this is where the old twist is, right? Let me go to Spenny's statement. You know, I told you I would drive the boat from the show to the house.
But are you aware of one thing? We do not have spendings his statements.
But people
so no. I would not want us to emphasize on what people are coming and like. Yeah. So if you're gonna use that phrase, try to quote someone, please. Try to quote someone.
Okay, now, do you know why I'm saying this? Because Primeboy talked about Spenny statements, how they locked, how Spenny talked about him holding the door of the car while they were going home. When they were fighting, he was the one that had the boy and all of that. Not from the CTC yet out, but I think from witnesses that were in court. So if I'm quoting witnesses that were in court.
Okay. Yeah.
So now, but let me base assumption on all what he said about before the CTC will be out. I can even go to Darosha. We all heard Darosha of recent, right? And that's why I'm calling. Okay, so let me drive from the show. Darosha, you are the PA of Mohbad. Your boss was already in the car. You were not there when the quarrel started or whatever. You say you went to get money. You saw Mohbad from far distance and spending Primeboy fighting Mohbad, according to Darosha. I believe you buy to. That is a fresh one now. It's not in the CTC yet, or it's not yet out. But that is what witness said. He said in court. Are you there, Dabs?
Yeah. I'm here with you.
Now, someone fought your boss. You got to the scene of the fight. The person have left is running away. You, the PA, when you saw the blood coming out from Mohbad, because he's bleeding now, let's not go to the profuse bleeding, but he bled continuously. You said, Primeboy said he went to meet CUBANA chief priest. You, Darosha, you were there, you witnessed Mohbad being injured. You never followed Primeboy to hold him responsible. I'm talking to you instant, a common sense that if someone is fighting your brother and you saw your brother bleeding and the person is running away, what will you do? You go after the person or you go after your brother?
Okay, yeah. If we're going to quote, if we're going to quote what was said at the inquest, right? I'm sure you are aware of the fact that he said he saw the fights, he saw the fights from afar, and then he swings into action, and then as at the time he got close, he was Primeboy got to see them coming, so he started running, and then he tried to chase him, but he couldn't catch Primeboy, and then when he got back to Mohbad, he then said, why did you have to let Primeboy go? That Primeboy has injured me. That they should not have let Primeboy escape. So I feel like, as at that time, they've done the right thing. But the only thing that they didn't do was...
I'm coming. Do you think we should bring in CUBANA chief priest now?
To be honest, I said something at the beginning of my engagement.
Don't go where you said. I want us to follow the boat gradually. Do you think we should bring CUBANA chief priest at this moment? On this our analysis.
Yes.
Good.
You know what? Hold on. Let me
I ask you this question. I want you to hear the twist here.
Okay.
I don't want us to go far. I want us to tie the whole thing together. Darosha said Primeboy walked away. Primeboy said he went to meet CUBANA chief priest. I want to believe Primeboy running away from the scene is still within the show, not that he has escaped. I'm going back to what Darosha said. That Mohbad is now saying, why do you allow Primeboy to escape? Meanwhile, Primeboy never escaped to anywhere. He was still within the vicinity of the event. Right? So if I'm going to believe Primeboy, Darosha, definitely Darosha is lying. That is what I'm trying to establish here. For Darosha to say he ran away, But this guy said he went to meet CUBANA chief priest. Now, for us to know what Primeboy, that's why I talked about Primeboy bringing CUBANA chief priest as his witness to this matter. And I believe police must have spoken to CUBANA chief priest, because he's the organizer of the show. If at the time a Primeboy went to meet him, did he come out? Yes, according to Primeboy. What did you see when you came out, CUBANA chief priest? Did you still meet Mohbad vehicle there, or people chase Primeboy to me? You see, this whole thing is not adding up like they are being honest or truthful. If you read all through, you follow these men, all of them, and that's why I come in from the word contradictory statements, coming from both Wunmi, Darosha, Adura. Now let's go to Adura's statement from the show. Are you there, Dabs? We treated Darosha.
If I interject now, you interject me again.
Interject,
but see, okay.
Right.
One thing you have to realize is that we all have the privilege to narrate our story based of how we interpret it. If you actually read a book now, and then Amen also read the same book, and then they ask you to narrate your experience with the book and all of that, the way you will give your storytelling will be different from Amen's own. And that does not take out the fact that the key point is what they will make sure they point out. You get? I always want us to understand one thing. It doesn't matter how Adura narrated the events or how he narrated the story. The key point here is that the fight, the injury, that is the key point. So Adura might say, he saw it from the left side. Somebody might say, I saw it from the up side. As far as the key point has been touched, they wouldn't pay attention to how they narrate the story. You get? So thank you.
Now, like what you said, let me go by a little. What we're looking at there is a common sense. Let me quickly go back to your story, what you just said about reading a story. Sometimes we look at the superior argument to say, okay, what will have possibly happen? And that is why you go before the judge who was not there. You narrate your story. The judge look at the point. He look at the law. He look at the common law, the common sense, the act, the behavior, the morality of the people. It doesn't just base his judgment on this area. I look at the technicalities behind whatsoever you are telling him or her. There are judges that want to speak to the victim directly or to the witness directly, not just from the police. Now, I want to hear from the witness. What are they looking at? Logical reasoning. What are they looking at? Their body language. If they lie or not. You could lie until the point of judgment. And the judge will still tell you that I know you lied in so place, but this is what I'm giving you. Remember the case of Ibori? The judge said, Ibori, former governor of Delta State, he said, I know you stole over $200 billion. This is what you have left. This is what you have, but I'm sending you to prison. I remember vividly that period. So sometimes you and I, we are here just to talk about logical reasonings. If these people, if Adura's statement is not the same thing as Darosha, nor the same thing with Wunmi, then we should know that either 3 or 2 of them or one of them is not saying the truth. Primeboy said Mohbad was not injured while they were together. While they were still arguing, he was not injured. And he said there were security men present at that scene. And it makes sense for us to believe Primeboy that really in a show, stars were present there. You can't have a show in a place like IKORODU and not have security men present in that event. It's not possible.
I'll come in that direction.
Okay.
You know one thing we have to understand is that Primeboy was the party involved, agreed. But being the party involved doesn't mean the police or the law would determine your punishment because you're the party involved. They would also look at eyewitness. Me personally, right? I do not expect Primeboy to say he was the one that. Wait, let me land now. Let me land.
Eyewitness can be lying. I don't want to. You continue. Go ahead.
You're not okay.
You know, eyewitness can be lying just to put this whole thing on your head. Go ahead, Dad. I'm listening to you.
The main objective of the court is for everyone to prove themselves. Yeah, you have to prove yourself to the maximum point of no doubt. You get. So Primeboy would have to prove. But me, I'm of the opinion that if the driver, I always tell people, the testimony of the Prado driver is what is not making things look likely or friendly with Primeboy. Because me personally, I haven't had a testimony from the Prado driver, but I felt like the Prado driver has said something that the police cannot let it go. It's not about.
But you have not heard from the Prado driver.
But you know what I said. We
have not heard from the Prado driver.
I'm just in my opinion. No. Wait now. I wrote to me. Let me land now.
After dabs.
Yeah, you're going. I'm saying, me personally, I feel like if you look at how everyone has not been approaching this case, Primeboy has not been able to establish one thing. Was the Prado driver there when the fight happened? The Prado driver is missing in this picture because
has anybody asked Primeboy that question?
I'm not sure. So we are more focused on. Yeah, we are more focused on.
That is what.
That is why you're not letting me land now. Let me just.
No, I'm not interjecting you. I'm only telling you that nobody has anybody asked Primeboy. No. Now I ask you. That's why I said the testimony of CUBANA chief priest could throw more light to what actually happened in that show. If truly